Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? So sorry it's been so long since I actually uploaded a video that had more than like 30 seconds, right? Oh, ever since I got better, I kind of got really busy. So I hope everyone's doing well. I really appreciate the new subscribers, and I got a lovely letter from a very sweet person that sent me some information. And you know who you are. I will actually send a thank you card out very soon. Okay, so what's been going on? Why have I been not making videos? Okay, so with school, gotten into some intense stuff with that. I am a Oma, so spent time with my oldest and my grandbaby and my son-in-law. And oh Lord, school, and I'm starting a little meditation business, which got still some little bumps and crips to get that started. It'll be interesting. My sister's going to be the one that's really doing it. I'm just going to help her along the way. But oh my Lord, getting the graphics and everything and music and that, it's been kind of fun setting that up. So school, I've got my 200-hour certified meditation teacher. I'm starting the next branch next week, which will have me end up being a 500-hour yogic meditation teacher. Who said ALS can stop you, right? So I have just been really concentrating on other classes I'm taking, doing my self-care, which is really important. And it doesn't matter if you have ALS, it doesn't matter if you have a chronic disease or you're just a normal human being. Self-care is really important. I always encourage it for others, but just as much as I encourage it, I need to take it in myself. So I have definitely been taking time for myself, whether that's the meditating, bubble baths, doing all the little projects I want to do, Oh, the love of the mind of the ADHD person. I have a lot of irons in different pans, but it's making me feel really good. So, let's see. School for my youngest is in 2 weeks, so I have to make sure I buy the rest of the school clothes. And, kids at this age, she's really tall for her age. Before I kind of like curled in my spine with scoliosis, I was 5'10". So now I'm just above 5'8", just shy of 5'9". See, it's true. You get shorter as you get older. No, but some of that stuff going around. Let's see. Have all the school supplies, finished her, all the re-registration, with COVID going on around. There's a choice of doing virtual school, which is kind of, it's like in my state, which is Texas, they aren't mandating, the governor is not mandating masks, though the district my daughter's in is highly encouraging that people wear masks. I'm going to send a letter to the registrar saying I want my daughter in a class where everyone wears masks. After the last illness I had, I just don't want to be re-exposed and get sick again. It's very difficult having ALS with the tenaciousness and thickening of secretions and the ability to bring those up and cough. Even though my lungs are doing good. And, as I'm always going on about the pranayamas and the yogic breathing, Wim Hof has a great one too. But that diaphragmatic breathing, even the polyvagal theory has polyvagal. You have this big vagal nerve that goes down your body. Most people get stressed and they breathe and just from their chest. Think about it, when you're just really stressed, you're just breathing right here. Those of us with ALS, the way that the disease goes is it's not really demyelinating, but it's the dying of the motor neurons. So as the motor neurons die, eventually what mostly causes death in ALS patients is the diaphragmatic muscles stop working and atrophy. you can't function moving your lungs up and down. So working those, and just kind of like any kind of muscles, you know, you take a deep breath, do your belly. If you think about belly breathing, hold and breathe out. Now, if you're going to start anything like pranayamas or any kind of yoga or any kind of exercise, you definitely want to talk to your doctor, make sure it's safe for you, and consult your care team to make sure that everything's specific for you. I just found, and I've gotten approval from my care team, and actually with my last visit, it shows that it is helping. I'm not going that trajectory. When you have ALS, what they monitor, you know, they take your age and what they expect your lung capacity to be at. Mine was 80% of that. And they expect it to trends down throughout the process of the disease. So I'm still about here. So it's working. I mean, you know, I feel better. You know, the regular breaths I do in the morning to wake up, I do along with my stretches. I've had a lot of issues with spasticity. It's been pretty horrible. I found, and I'm sure anyone that has ALS is probably telling me, well, didn't you know that? I found that getting really active, my cousin was in town, did a bunch of things with her, ended up in the ER with a terrible, I'm not sure exactly what that was, whether it was, you know, the spasticity, yes, whether it was an angina attack, not so sure. But the fact that I couldn't think right, that was weird. So I don't know if I had a bit of my allergy stuff thrown into it. It just wasn't pleasant. My oldest daughter just turned 29. Yeah, can you believe I have a 29-year-old daughter? It's living in Houston, all the humidity helps your skin. But I told her that you're turning 29 for your first time. No problem with aging. I mean, hey, what I have right now, I'd so like to be able to live to be old and even more decrepit. But so went around looking for her gift. Go figure, TikTok. Now I don't use TikTok just because I have my ADHD. I would, you know, all those dopamine hits, I lose days just staring at that. I have enough problems with catching on Netflix and watching. It's like you don't want to see, you don't want to wait, you know, like the little feeding they give you if you watch the networks or the cable, they give you just this 30 to 47 minute long thing and you just wait for next week and you do it. No, it's all there. So you just want to see the end. You want to know the end of the story. So I've wasted, you know, I've stayed up all night watching it. And then it takes me a while to recover for the rest of the week. So, but she had seen something for little Halloween lights that were really cute. I mean, kid friendly. I mean, she is a baby, you know, it's like one thing I've done in my life is make holidays a big thing. You know, life is short and you got to celebrate it. You know, that's my motto. So when we moved, I had every holiday actually organized. Never had that before in my life. So I put everything in, you know, start off with Christmas and the huge amount of boxes for Christmas. I have a snowman collection. Not some New Year's is in a little box. Then we have Valentine's Day. Then we have, you know, the March, that kind of spring. I just put Valentine's Day. Well, Valentine's Day is separate, but the whole spring ones when you have St. Patrick's Day and Easter, and then you have Cinco de Mayo, and then you have, that's that one. Then there's the more of the summer ones. So, you know, I'll have, you know, a little bit of the flags for, you know, you can use them for Memorial Day and 4th of July. Then you go back into the fall, Halloween. I am a Halloween nut. Yeah, I'm one of those people that use my creative skills to be creepy. I love that, you know, it's whether it was being a child of parents that separated, you know, it's one of those holidays you didn't have to worry about the other parent, but also, you know, when you can laugh at, you know, get scared and laugh about it and eat chocolate, hey, it's a holiday. So, it seems like everyone lately, because they know I like to go all out for holidays, and because, you know, I have a big Halloween thing, though, I'm going to need help putting it up this year. I can still do some things, but some things, you know, I just tire out too much. So I'm going to try to do things while I can still use my hands, make some little things. So I'm thinking about those kind of things. You know, usually I'll look at what's being sold and rip it off. Hey, they rip it off from the artists that do it themselves too. So thinking about that, but my daughter wanted some of the lights she saw on TikTok. Well, you go up onto the store online and they're all sold out. I actually thought I bought them and then the store canceled it, which made me very mad. So I was waiting and looking and checking the website, and yeah, I mean, that was in like July, end of July. And you know, the very end of July, like the 28th, there was one Big Lots in the city of Houston, excuse me, that had it. So I drove out there, went in, grabbed them, bought them, and I was able to give it to them. They sing, the pumpkins sing, no, I can't remember, what was it? I know the ghosts sing Ghostbusters. Oh, I think the pumpkins sing Monster Mash. So they're cute. They're like animated. So it's like just the pumpkins, but they have like LED lights in. They have little faces. I mean, 8 lights, $20. It was a birthday present because I would never. Call me cheap, but yeah, you can make things. And you can buy things that you can like make. It's just her thing, but she has the baby, so she got some little Halloween things and a little gift certificate, but that was, you know, kind of, you know, a big fun. I mean, you know, you should celebrate life. So did that, and I had previously, before I found him, had gone to like 6 different stores, and it's hot outside, so heat exhausts me. And that little bit of, you know, acting like I feel good, let me act like a normal person. Ouch. You know, every time I do that, I end up waking up and having a difficult sleeping when my back, you know, all for my shoulders, my arms, my back, and, you know, into my hips get really sore. And my muscles are hard. My husband tried to rub my back, and it's, you know, it couldn't even get in because the muscles were so tight. I had, when I had the issue and had to go to the ER in June, you know, the doctor told me, you know, I was in pain, I was having chest pain, I threw up. I wasn't thinking right, I couldn't sit up. I mean, that's something wrong. Chest pain isn't caused by ALS. And definitely chest pain that makes you vomit isn't caused by ALS. And the doctor told me, why did you come? You have ALS. So I'm just supposed to stay home and just suffer? That's how you deal with people with ALS? That's bull. I did get Robaxin, which helped, but I only had like a 5-day supply. And I do have the medical marijuana, though I'm doing this yogic stuff and I don't want to put any of that stuff in me right now. You know, though I may have to do it. I mean, it's kind of like you do a lot of meditations and it actually will build those same chemicals, your body will. It's just that the pain in ALS is not really acknowledged. Spasticity hurts. You know, it's like when you first start and you have the real bad Charlie horses, you know, those hurt. You know, I'm getting them in my abdomen now. And that does hurt, but it's not like the searing pain that can happen when your muscles are really tight and you're really just stiff. So they increased my tenazidine or Xanaflex, which has helped. And I have the Robaxin for break-in, though it's kind of like, do you do the muscle relaxers when you have ALS? You know, it's kind of, you know, that it's not the main muscles that are doing this, it's the small muscles that might be getting tight in holding things together because they're having to work harder and they get exhausted. So it's walking the dance. So now I'm really working on not pushing it. Though as a woman, all women do a lot more than they, without the self-care that they probably should. It's just our nature. I'm sure men, I mean, men, you know, have to be strong. They have to take care of everything. You know, women will push and, you know, balance this and do this and do this and do this. And, you know, I was always a person in perpetual movement. So learning to stay still, the meditation has helped. But when I don't and I feel good and I push it too hard, it hurts. So I'm trying to find the balance and everything changes. But, you know, push it too hard and feeling all stiff, and I do my you know, my muscle, my stretches and stuff, that does help. I mean, I have to do the stretches before I get out of bed. Otherwise, I'm asking for a fall. Well, I done my stretches and I had gone in the shower, and I must have had a soap that was like a little slippery, and oof, I lost my foot and I couldn't grab on anything, and it was just happening before I knew it. I slid out of the bathtub and knocked into the toilet. You know, I was watching my head. After you've had concussions, and because I'm genetic, and I really think that it was a combination of having a terrible anaphylaxis. I'm allergic to things. I really am. You know, if I eat something, it used to be my belly would give me trouble, but now it's, you know, the swelling of the face. And if you notice, ragweed is happening now. My face is swelling, so I'm going to an allergist. But anyways, sharing TMI, right? I'm sorry, guys. But I ended up, you know, I was holding my head up, and my hips hit the toilet, and the toilet moved. It's like I was like, ah! I got up and tried to move the toilet back, and I felt defeated. It's like I fall out of the shower. I mean, it's like, you know, we've been talking about getting grab bars. You know, there's times when I used to take hot baths and it was hard I get exhausted to get out. You know, sometimes it's hard to get the bath plug out. You know, I'm 2 years in, so I'm blessed to even be doing this, right? Not complaining, just, you know, it's like one of those concerns. So my husband fixed the shower rod, ones that are curved that gives you more space inside. And we got one of those mats that it looks like a rock, you know, it's kind of like this little rock thing, so you feel like you have grip. And got some advice from an OT about how the bars should be. So she said to sit in the tub, and where I get out, put a piece of black tape. And then when I get in, like where I would possibly grab, put another piece of black tape. So you do one bar this way that's long and one bar up that's long. So we're gonna do that. We got things ordered. I'm just thankful I can still bathe. But it was scary the next day. So, you know, yes, I'm doing all the meditating and taking care of myself, and I'm a bit of a practical realist, right? It scared me about doing it. You know, I wanted to make sure someone was home besides my 8-year-old. So my husband is there, and I looked at that shower, and I thought about it. I'd get real stinky if I didn't shower. So I didn't let it become a fear. I jumped in the shower with the mat, and I didn't fall. I was okay. So that's something to be aware. If you push yourself, you're going to be weaker. You could fall. And watch out for slippery soaps. So it's been kind of that different seesaw with the symptoms. I'm definitely a little bit weaker, but overall, I'm doing really good. You know, if you look at me, I don't really look sick. And it's a mind thing when you are doing things, you're not pushing yourself hard, and you're working on the computer, and you can edit things to be almost like a normal life. And then you think that you can do everything you could before, and you try, and it makes you weak. And if you push yourself too hard, you can end up hurting yourself. So, and I think that's true to life of all. I mean, you know, we get everything in our head, especially as we're coming out of the COVID world, pandemic lockdown, though, you know, numbers are up and we're still coming out. We'll see how long that lasts. But, you know, you can think you can do a lot, but you have to make sure you take care of yourself. since I've started to take care of myself, I took some time off to take, even though I'm having the irons in the pan, it's all sitting down. Now I do go places, I do walk, because I do some yoga, just the stretching, very gentle, not doing any of the hot yoga or vinyasa, any of the things that are really strainful, not doing that, but the stretching, because that keeps, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I had my ALS clinic, my first regular clinic. It's like I did the induction, 2-day thing of where they say, do you really have this disease? Yes, I really have this disease. It's just atypical. Genetic, it can be all strange. I'm younger than the normal person that has it, turning 47 this year. And, I really believe that the allergy thing I have, on top of the concussion I have, kind of the concussion made everything worse. And when you are genetic, and there's different, they're called epigenetics. Epigenetics, the little things little allies and things that are in addition. If you have trauma to your brain, some recover good, some have the genetic thing, but they don't repair as well. So when I had the concussion, it was pretty severe. It caused a rear end, caused C3 to bulge in my disc, and I turned when I heard the screeching, and that's how I had the impact. And I had a really bad concussion, real dizzy, and it developed into post-concussion syndrome. And I did a lot of physical therapy to get over that. So I was good for about maybe 6 months, 5 months. Then the ALS symptoms started. So talking with the doctor there, we did talk about the epigenetics and the genetic cases. So with that, showed up, and they were doing the slow, the staggered entry. Usually at clinics, they have a social hour, because like me, I just getting out of the elevator, I saw the first person that was still walking with ALS I've ever seen. But people, it's not the most common disease, so people aren't next to each other. And when I first got diagnosed, I had a couple months until COVID hit to be able to see other people. So we were in there with my daughter. I'm so proud. She picked me up and took me. And with seeing the social worker, the nutritionist, the occupational therapist, and the physical therapist, the respiratory therapy. Go through all the respiratory things. It was, when the respiratory therapy, really nice. I had 2 different ones. One did one thing, another one came and did other things. So when the respiratory therapist, my daughter was asking, he's like, about the levels of the oxygen, he said that he'd start talking about how the numbers trend down, and my numbers were trending a little bit down, laying down, and it's normal. And then he said that usually when that happens, the people start to get worse. And hearing that, it's like I started to engage my abs. They still work, even though they're not pretty, but they still work. And I took a deep breath and I blew out a good number. So it's kind of like when you see your child's eyes, you want to fight for things, And that's my oldest one. My littlest one, got to give her some coping skills before it gets worse, so she can be successful in life and not have more wounding. It's going to be hard not having her mama, So from there, ended up talking to the doctor, have a wonderful doctor. I don't know what it is about ALS, but they have the nicest neurologists. I've always seen neurologists as, kind of like nephrologists, the ones that deal with your kidneys. Just kind of very, very intelligent people, not extremely personable, But these neurologists, everyone I've seen have been extremely nice, and I greatly appreciate that. So we were talking about that, and we kind of talked about, the genetic stuff, and, my daughter asked, could it get better? And it's like, yeah, some people get diagnosed, and, they're not as bad. Generally, when it's genetic, it's predictable. Nothing says when, nothing says how. They have no answers, and I don't look to pass away anytime soon. But she asked about her stuff, and because what I have is C9orf72. It's on chromosome 9 that the RNA transcribes builds up too much glutamate, and it messes up your motor neurons. In addition to the epigenetics that will work on not repairing things. It was just not the person to get hit. So did okay. Now, this sounds mean, and if you have ALS, I am not being mean to you. Believe me, I'm talking about myself, okay? We got out, and another lady was smart. She brought her walker. It's like ADHD and running out early in the morning. I forgot that piece. I'm okay as if I don't push it too hard, but we're walking out, and I saw the first person that had the same gait I did. So we're walking, and I'm thinking, all and she goes, zombie, I feel like I walk like a zombie. That's me, I know. So if I hurt your feelings, I'm terribly sorry. That's not what I mean to do. It made me laugh about myself, okay? So, you gotta laugh. There's horrible, but you gotta laugh. It's a way to cope. So after that, we did The Inheritance of Hope. Kirsten Milligan and her husband, Derek, she started this group for terminal parents with young children. And they have children's groups, they have adult groups, they have groups for parents of those children. And it was really neat. It was a whole hope at home, so it was a home thing. God bless them. They did a wonderful job. A lot of Zoom meetings. Zoom was glitchy this weekend. I made a legacy video. We ate well. My daughter and son-in-law were down. We went and had breakfast together. It was great. It opened a lot of conversations that are important to have. It helped me understand with being in a group, because ALS Association, they're trying to keep everyone safe. It's hard during the pandemic, but seeing how the other spouses, and they had ALS patients there too, seeing how the other spouses are dealing with it. It's like, they had a yarn thing, what are your 3 top worries? My daughter's was about that. Mine was about that. My husband there was not enough yarn to express it. And I always thought, why are you so anxious? I just don't know. You've got this moment. Why are you just spinning it tightened up? And seeing other men do it, so maybe that's just how he's handling it, Really interesting. So, they had one talk, and one lady was more advanced, and she had lost the ability to speak. So, her husband said that, I do this, I do that, I'm the caretaker, and sometimes I feel like I'm the husband. And watching, it's like, I can't even imagine if my husband was that way. I'm thinking, I need to write a letter, no, you're not just my caretaker. I love you, and I thank you for this. It's like a lot of letter writing to do, things of living intentionally and leaving a good legacy, which I've been trying to do, So what else is going on? Everyone I know is going on vacation. People in Florida, there's a lot of sharks. That's okay. I wouldn't go to Galveston, which is close to us right now, because yes, there's a lot of sharks, but with the rains we had earlier this summer, there's higher levels of fecal contamination in the water, which means necrotizing fasciitis, which is also flesh-eating bacteria. yeah, so nah, it just doesn't sound fun to go swimming or put your feet in poop. You know, so, and that poop might have COVID in it. So, a good friend of mine's, sent me a picture today. Look at that blue water in Padre, and I'm like, oh my God. So from last week, it's like a part of the candle burning on both ends. My cousin is moving back to Texas. She's born here. Our family, though I was not born in Texas, I was born in elsewhere. My parents met in college. And then we moved here. I've lived here the longest. So my mom is 5th generation Texan. So I guess I'm, by default, 6th generation Texan. So she was looking for our, our family. She's like, we're 6th generation, right? Yeah, we're 6th generation. Well, I'm kind of a genealogy bug. Everyone has one in the family, right? I'm one of them. And, it's like hearing the stories of my ancestors, besides documenting them. My grandmother was dying and she was the last of her generation. So I looked up a lot of this stuff, while she was dying, just to feed it to her. My cousin is a nurse now. She graduated her nursing program this spring, but she was our caretaker. So she showed it and it made my grandma smile. It's like, it's something I could do here while she was in New Mexico. So, found stories. Well, I talked to a historian down in South Texas, in Brownsville, and he told me a little old bit. He told me that my second great grandmother killed my third great grandfather because she wouldn't let her marry someone. That's not true. It's not true. They'd been married for 5 years. She had 2 children. I have pieces of the house, of things that was commissioned by him for the wedding. And she was pregnant 8 months at the time with her 3rd child when he was murdered. I mean, my great grandfather is in the Texas history books. And his murder, that was the worst thing. Once, you're looking at different names and then you come across something that was documented and it seems like it should be on 48 hours. It's like, ooh, the bullet went in here, the bullet went out there. Ooh. And apparently he was a very well-liked individual. So it was a big funeral, who was on site, which doctor examined him. I mean, seriously, CSI. And the fact that, in the Texas state records, they have my second great-grandparents' wedding license and the birth certificates of the children. So it's a lie. And he put it in a publication. My cousin was looking for things and found this lie in a publication. And that cemetery does Halloween tours. I don't know why, but it just got under my skin. Don't talk about my ancestors that way. Like my cousin said, we didn't bury our ancestors there to make them fodder for entertainment, for tours. It's just, it really bugs me. So I'm going to contact my lawyer and try to get a cease and desist letter. It's like that everything else that's happened over the week, that's still something I have to come back to. Doing stuff for social media and stuff like that for when we start building the business up. And also in school, there's another platform opening, and I will share that with you when it's open. But it's just so much. And then going to the ALS clinic and dealing with my kids and the disease and talking about things and making legacy videos. Yeah, I mean, veg out in the sun, I went and laid down in the backyard and just kind of meditated, prayed, and did everything I could. So I've been busy, but it's been fun. I mean, I did some little tie-dye and some little onesies for my granddaughter. She is so precious. She's getting to that age where, she's really she likes her Oma. I mean, she lights up when she sees me. She hears my voice a lot. But she lights up, and just that sweet thing of grabbing and that, and she's a little flirt. It's so cute, she saw my husband, Grampy, that, and I guess she's got a good daddy, so she's just looking at all the boys, and it's like, yeah, she feels comfortable. But sorry, you should watch out for that later. No, it's not gonna happen. It's been something. So I've been doing that. Now I still have to find, I've got shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, jackets, shoes, and I was waiting to the very end because my kid's growing. I mean, I swear she's grown a month in the past, she's grown a month. She's grown a month. She has grown a month. She's a month older than she was. She's grown an inch in the past month. So yeah, she's gonna be tall. Need to start giving her some coffee, right? But we need to get her clothes. So I'm gonna get some more shorts because it's hotter than Hades, and some pants, and maybe a dress or 2. So it's just waiting. It's just now it's like there wasn't as much selection that's in the stores. I don't know if it's that many people shopping, or that the stock's not there yet. So now it's like, oh, how do we do this without catching something? Online. I gotta love all of my Instacart, my grocery deliverers, Amazon, UPS, USPS, because it has been, my main thing is online. It's kind of interesting. In my area, they're building more warehouses, I guess, because a lot of people are transitioning online. Try to go and support small businesses in person. It's like with this, doing this little meditation thing, I went on Fiverr and tapped people. When you're that busy, when you're talking, sending messages to a lawyer, when you're talking to people, when you're doing schoolwork, when you're doing this, you're doing that, you're handling all this, you're talking about other people, a lot of people. In addition to my friends and my family and all that, I love it. I do. I love being busy, because if you just look at 4 walls all the time and you're trapped in your house, and me being so social, I'm an extrovert, is if you couldn't tell, right? But, the disease, pandemic, ALS, not being able to go out and work, and, being a nurse, you have to think about it. I met hundreds of new people every month, It's kind of sad. A lot of hospitals are having shortages of nursing, 800, or was it 8,000 nurses died, a healthcare professional in the United States from COVID. I was talking to the respiratory therapist that first initially assessed me at the ALS clinic, and she said that she trains respiratory therapists, and she's one of the people of my generation, and she said a lot of them left, and the other one that was really so personable, just so blessed. Everyone from the ALS clinic is really nice, but this guy was really nice, and he graduated and came out right before the COVID pandemic started, and seeing what respiratory therapists see in the hospital with COVID, I can only imagine. I told him it was baptism by fire, but that's traumatic. It's kind of like, well, if you have, I worry about some of the nurses I know, everyone's having a hard time with it. Whether it's the changes, the protocols, when they didn't have masks that they had to put in paper bags because they couldn't get supply. Thankfully, the supply's there now. The hospital, ICU beds are growing short in my area, but a lot of it's staffing. You have to think about it. We are into our 2nd year of this, almost. It's, started in, it is the 2nd year. So that constant taking care of people, that constant seeing people die, the other people that were, a disease will take someone that's walking, talking just fine, just sick, and then they suddenly go down the tubes and they die. And, seeing people without the major preparation of hospice and palliative care, and seeing some people die, is hard on families. All these other people that pass, families that, at the beginning, maybe been on the nurse's phone to say goodbye, but seeing that kind of trauma, now they usually have one person in, so at least there's one person there. but it's pretty horrible. I mean, that's something to really thank your healthcare workers, you know. Then there's the whole shabacle of, you know, you can't make me take a vaccine when it's not approved, you know. Politics, 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 you know. I'm hoping that they approve the COVID vaccine. Zines, I have Pfizer, so I'm hoping, I know that the WHO said to get it to other areas, not other countries, not maybe to do the boosters, but my booster will be due in September, and I really hope I can get it. It's just kind of like sending your kid back to school when your governor, we will not mandate masks. Well, they weren't going to have virtual learning, and that's already started again. So we'll see how long school lasts. You just kind of have to flow with it, right? Yeah, ride your wave, surf. You know, you kind of like surf a lot on the waves of chaos, and then it's like, okay, let's go into less choppy waters, and then let's go into calm waters. So I'm trying to get to the calm waters. So next week, I fly out, and I'm going, you know, about KN95s. You know, can't get a good N95 or a P100 anywhere. They're on lockdown. So I hope it works, but I have ordered my Dave Matthews mask. Yeah, I wore it out. I mean, one place I've been out in 2 weeks. Well, no, a week. I went to the store to get my child the Halloween lights. But, you know, it's kind of like I wore that mask and no one recognized the fire dancer. It was sad. I miss concerts. I've been doing the couch tour and watching people. You know, you look in the crowd and you see so many people with that mask. It's like, well, I would never buy pit tickets. You know, even now it's like, okay, yeah. I fall over. Chunk. I like my teeth. I really do. No, so, but I've been able to watch that, and it just made me really happy. One thing my daughter and I usually do, my oldest, and my youngest is getting to the age where take him to, excuse me. Sorry, I'm tired out. I hadn't stopped. I slept. I've taken breaks, but I hadn't stopped. But, you know, take her and just enjoy the music. You know, there's something about live music hitting you and just being there that feels so good. So even, you know, streaming it, and we're both streaming it and listening to it on Sirius XM, you know, just sharing that little thing, that's nice. So enter the contest to win the tickets, because it's going to be concerts in New York on my birthday, day before, and on my birthday. So fingers crossed I win them. If not, it goes to planting trees, so that's a good thing. Oxygen is nice. So yeah, nothing. I mean, I'm just the little pleathers. I've got a pleathers. No, not pleathers. A little bit of paddling until I take a nap tonight. It's one thing with ALS, I get more tired at night. And then you lay down and it's like, can I sleep? Nope. Let me watch. Oh, okay, so doing all this, you know, it's like waiting to get into a website with a thing that's related to the stuff that I'll, you know, the website for my school that's going to be announced later. And just kind of, with my sister, we're both watching it. And I fell asleep to a YouTube video. You know, I like the H3H3 podcast. And I'm about to sleep. I fell asleep. Have to wake up for class early. And the last part of it, I had gone to sleep, but the last part of it woke me up because it was a loud commercial about small businesses and setting them up. So I'm like, did Rebecca put me in it? I'm like, darn. So got up and did that. So tomorrow is my best friend's mom's birthday, my second mom. terrible. I'm sorry I'm posting this. This is not nice. See me on. But her birthday, and my best friend is on a trip for her husband's birthday. So I'm gonna go over and bring some cupcakes. You know, finally got that problem solved. That, you know, she's in a good place that's taking care of her. She's not at risk for people taking advantage of her. You know, I adopt different people. Sometimes you just gotta care for people, you know. I hope that everyone does that, you know. Kind of talking about, I was talking with my friend about how, you know, we talk about the social divide, you know, it's like you have the polarization in the United States. And I know that some of this stuff is going around the world. People are polarized, you know. Let's not even talk about the Q word, right? But if you look at the news, you can see all of that. And then you have the people, well, the people that wear masks or don't, or the people that are vaccinated that aren't. You know, there's some people that can't get the vaccine. They're on chemo. They're have health conditions that it's very risky for them to get it. We're supposed to get vaccinated to help them. And I'm not going to look at someone and say you're worthy if you're vaccinated or not. Though I do understand that, you know, for health to help herd protection of these people, I will definitely get vaccinated. And I have ALS. You know, I'm still here. I've had COVID, but I'm still here, you know, because I've had the vaccine. I don't know. And when Hurricane Harvey happened in Houston, I was a hospice nurse at the time, and I was triage nurse. So we had so many alarms going off. You know, our home security alarm was going off, the phones are going off, the computer, or, you know, not the computer, but the TV I was watching, you know, we had electricity. You know, it's all going off all at once. When the news people look grim, you know, I've never seen the grim look from the peppy news person. You know, that was just really just no sleep and being on the phone answering calls. A patient that I actually had seen out in person in the nursing care on, that son called. He was in a point that couldn't get to his father. His father had 4 foot of water up. Having to give them the number of the Coast Guard to call. You know, my instinct was to open the door to go out to see if the water was up. Thankfully, they transferred the calls to the people that were riding out the storm. So it was putting bags of old clothes, bags of old blankets. You know, you can get garbage bags and fill them with water to make sandbags around your area. You know, fought and fought and fought. And we didn't flood inside. You know, a lot of people around us flooded. But afterwards in Houston, you know, you call 911 and they weren't answering. The storm broke 911. You know, our infrastructure was underwater, you know. I had a friend, a young man that was an artist that was posting on Facebook that I saw that was, you know, where they lived in town was towards one of the downtown where it's very low. And they were stuck in a car. You know, I gave them the number to call the Cajun Navy and gave them the number to call the Cajun Navy. Thankful for the Cajun Navy. I have an ornament on my tree for the Cajun Navy. Good people. You know, but that's kind of how all of us in this area, you get your Cajuns, you get your people in Louisiana, you get your Houstonians, and all the people in Southeast Texas. When stuff like that happens, things get ruined, we come together. It doesn't matter the language, it doesn't matter the color, the race, the religion. We're all people, and we all look out for each other. Now, you know, if you're in Houston, if you look at the news, you know, it's kind of like going back into the 90s and people are shooting each other, but look at our state laws. But you see, it's kind of like a microcosm of what's going on in the United States, the pulling and the polarization. I just wish that we can start looking at each other. Yeah, this pandemic has been like a Harvey-type storm. It's been around the world, a Harvey-like storm. You know, the fires, you know, the floods, you know, it's like everything that's happened in China, it's happened, you know, in India, you know, Australia. You know, we've all had So many parts of Asia. I mean, look at Africa. You know, look what happened in South Africa, and then look what's, you know, yeah. Guinea just had an episode of Marburg. Well, just what we need. Filoviruses. My mouth won't work. You know, hemorrhagic diseases, and those ones spread real good too. So wear your mask. Hopefully they can stop it in its tracks. You know, one of those going around the world. 14th century. Think about that. Bubonic plague. I mean, they had it in Madagascar. And it can pop up in places that have lots of rats, like that hopefully, you know, they cleaned up in LA County, you know, Venice Beach and all that. You know, just hantavirus in New Mexico. You know, bugs can come, bugs can go. Whether they be parasites, whether they be viruses, whether they be bacteria. You know, there's so many things that can happen, but together we can get over this. You know, if you start looking at your neighbor, like you may not have voted for the person I voted for, you don't believe in what I believe. It's stupid. I mean, we all are more alike than we are different. I don't know. It'll shake out. It will shake out. I just hope, you know, we all take the time to realize how lucky we are to still be here. I mean, there's how many souls that aren't here because of COVID, because of other diseases, because of violence. You know, appreciate life. You know, life is short. You know, take that time. Boy, did I end that kind of on a deep note. I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of, it'll be fun. I mean, we're going to go to Philadelphia and, you know, yes, I'm going to go make myself poked and prodded to research this genetic thing. It's worth it. You know, if I can find, if I can provide the parts that will help other people in the future, and for my children and their children, and you know how I believe it, I have seen on Orb 72. Scientists, sorry, child break-in. Scientists theorize that it was one person 1,500 years ago that had the scene on Orb 72, and it's been passed down to generations. So you have people across the world that have this genetic mutation. There's different epigenetics and stuff, but that have this. And we all had that great-grandma or great-grandpa 1,500 years ago. So we're all family. So for my family, I am putting myself through, it's a test dummy. I mean, I give blood. I'm in a biometric study for the ALS clinic. I'm on doing the Johns Hopkins neurofilament, one lab stick every 3 months for 3 years. ALS TDI has my genetics. CDC has my genetics. My voice is going for Google's open resource thing. Just need to make another talking video for them too. Terrible about doing too much. All while sitting down. You know, keep the brain busy. It's good for it. So, you know, we'll do the love picture. You know, eat some more Philly cheesesteaks. Thinking about staying in the colonial wine cellar that was in one of the original neighborhoods, but the decline of it, you know, I'm like, nah, probably shouldn't try to push myself that hard. So we'll see, but I'm really interested. I haven't had the MRIs for like 2 years. So these 2 years, you know, and especially the last at least year, I've been daily meditating and, you know, deep. Will it change? Will it have affected my brain? My research assistant said she'd tell me. Of course, I'll peek over and look. But it's an interesting thought. I mean, I know meditation will actually connect parts deep in your frontal lobe and back to your reptilian part of your brain and create that connection. So it helps with a lot of stress. It can help with the mind-body connection is really important. You know, if you get too far in your head, you start reading the news, you start looking at all the social media. You know, I have to say my social media is all positive. I liked a lot of nature things, a lot of good animal stories. It's what I see in a lot of yoga stuff. I mean, oh Lord, they really try to sell me with meditation and yoga. Or how about this? You know, they know your age, they look at you, and yes, I'm a little bit of a fluffy patient, a fluffy person, and they want you to get basically garbage bags. And I'm like, remember the big moo-moos? You know, it's like here, it's up to here, down here, and over here, and out here. You know, being big busted, it's a horrible look for me. And it's like, the baggy things are big this season. You know, it's like, just float. No, thank you. No. I'll dress like me. You know, silly shirts, concert shirts. Yep. So we're gonna fly with 2 masks. Maybe someone will recognize my fire dancer. There's gotta be more of us Dave Matthews fans out there. People that go different places. No, they're all in the pit. No, it's at the concerts actually having tickets. So that's me. Little one goes back to school in 2 weeks, and life will get back to normal that way. And I'll be in 3 classes. Yeah, deep classes. So I'm just really happy that I have such connection with other people, my other students and friends, my family. You know, I'm very thankful for the Inheritance of Hope to have led for those conversations and for such a nice family weekend. That was really cool. And, you know, the people in my life, you know, I'm having fun. I just sound tired because I've been doing it all day. So make sure you take your vitamin D if your doctors say it's safe. It helps you protect you against COVID. You know, those of us that don't get a lot of sunlight, I had to be careful because of some of the medicine I'm on. Splotchy skin, terrible. But life is good. I hope you're doing good. And if you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe this video. It helps it reach out to more people. It's hard right now for people that have ALS because we have to be careful, you know, have to stay away from crowds and that. So if this can reach more people, that would be a blessing. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. And for my regular subscribers, I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. You know, you're my extended friends. You know, and those that see nine, yeah, we're just extended families. We're just, I don't know how many removed cousins, but you know, life is good. Enjoy today. You know, when you see people pulling at each other, just look at your commonalities, you know. Stop being mean to people. You know, life is too short for that. And for yourself, take care of yourself, you know. Drink that lovely drink of tea. Take that time to journal, to meditate, to pray. Notice the beauty in each day because it's there. You just have to look. All right, y'all have a blessed one. Bye. And yes, I will do a video of meditation, but I'm looking through insurances because I tend to like give meditations and people start bringing up stuff, and I just need like insurance just because, you know, I'm like one of those nerdy people that think, oh, gotta make sure everything's patched, covered, and safe. All right, y'all take care. Bye. Have fun.